So this is plastilina. It is a oil-based clay. It is non-hardening. So what that means is that regularly we have to cover our projects with water all the time so that way they don't dry out. This will never harden. Now, the good news about it never hardening is that we'll be able to do multiple projects with the same piece because we're just going to take it and smash it back down and make the next project. The bad news is you're obviously not going to be able to keep any of these. It's kind of a disposable project. So what we're going to do is you have 2 1-pound blocks. Okay, they come together. Now you will notice at first that it is not that easy to move around. Okay, oil-based clay is very hard at first, but as you work it in your hand, the heat from your hand will warm it up and it becomes a lot softer to work with. Okay, so if you're working in a really cold room, you might notice that your clay is a little bit harder to work with. If you're working in a warmer room, then you'll notice it's a little bit easier to work with. Now, what you guys are going to do for your first project is you're going to do the coil vessel. Okay, now here is my rule for the coil vessel. I want you to go at least 5 inches tall. Okay, where you go with it from there, it's up to you. But if you look online, you will see a whole bunch of ideas for coil vessels. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm making a coil. This is one of the 3 main techniques for pottery building. There's slab, pinch, and coil. So coil is one of them, and it's the only one we're not going to be doing with actual clay. We're going to be doing with this. Okay, so we make a coil. Now, however big you make this, it's completely up to you. The work surface you want to work on is something that can easily be wiped down. This does leave a little residue, but you just spray it down with Windex or just even water should take care of it. But spray it down, wipe it down when you're done, and there'll be no mess. So to start a coil, we're going to start it just like this. And you're going to roll it up onto itself. And this will create the coil base. Okay, just like so. And guess what? We get to do a lot of these. So as you're working with it, you don't want to start with a giant piece. This is about the biggest you should work with. Okay, and take it and start rolling it out. If you notice it's getting lumpy in one area, try to flatten that area down, and then you can switch to the table. And it might take you a little bit first. You might find yourself where you're making it like this, where it's narrow here and thick here, and you'll notice it'll be bumpy as you're rolling it. It's going to take you a little bit, but you'll figure out the constant pressure that you need, because it's all about pressure and moving your hand back and forth. Okay? And I'm not moving it back and forth just this way, but side to side as well, because I want it to spread out evenly. Okay? Now, it's up to you how you want to build it. However, what I will say is it looks better the thinner the coils are. Okay? You can start using 2 hands and move them out. You just keep working on it like this. Our next step is when we're going to combine 2 pieces. What you're going to do is you're going to butt them right up next to each other, just like this. Okay? Then you can use any tool you have in your house. Right now, I just have a paper clip that's been bent on one side and straight on the other. And I'm going to use this to try to smooth these into each other and make it look like it was always one piece. So I go in with the tool first, and then I use my finger and smooth it down a little bit. And I'll do both sides. I smooth it down. And now I start going around. Once I have it the width that I want the base to be, okay? If I'm happy with how wide that is and I want to come up, maybe out like that, now I start building it up on top of the one below it. Now the nice thing about oil-based clay is that this is going to stick together pretty well with just the pressure from my fingers. But because we're not firing this, it's okay if it's not flawless. With all ceramics, there's always a chance that part of it can break. If that happens, then you just go back to where it broke and then restart. Move this back over here. If you want to take a break on the day, okay, it's, you know, put in an hour, however long, and you're tired, your hands are getting sore, anything like that, you don't have to cover this. Just put it somewhere safe, you know, that your pets aren't going to knock it over, little brother, sister, anything like that, and that you'll be able to grab it tomorrow, and you're good to go. You can keep this in the Ziploc bag. You do not have to, okay? It will be a little bit easier, more pliable if you keep it in a bag, but you'll be fine with leaving it out. So we continue to make coils. Now, one thing you can do is you can again take any tool you want and you can smooth together the inside portion. What this will do is this will make it a little bit stronger structurally. So that way when you lift pieces, it'll stay all together. So we'll go around, let's see if I can, we'll go around and do that real quick. And then we start building again. Put them together. Remember, we're trying to blend that together so it looks like one piece. Now again, you do not have to blend the inside, but you can if you want to. Okay? So right now it's looking like this. Okay, as you can see there, it's a little bit, so we might need to blend it a little bit there just to kind of keep them connected. Okay. So the next thing you could do is it does not have to be long coils. Part of it's going to have to be, but you can also do things like this. And we can go around in circles. You could do little designs. Roll out a thin coil, take it, roll it up on itself, make a little spiral like this. And do designs like this all the way around. Really, it's up to you. The basis of it has to be made out of coils like this, okay? However, where you decorate it, how you add things to make it yours, that's completely up to you. When your project is done, you're going to take pictures of it, okay? And you're going to take pictures of it next to something I can see how big it is. So if you want to put a pencil next to it, if you have a ruler and put a ruler next to it, if you want to hold it up next to your face, okay, whatever you want to do so I can get a scale as to how big it is. Then once the pictures are done, in order to do the next project, you're going to smash it back up, put it with your other clay, and get ready for the next project.